Oh, and we're back for Peloponnesian League. In this video, we're going to take a look at some of the opening moves that the Peloponnesian League is able to do. I've sorted out the ones I think are notable and could reasonably come up in a game. I've included a bit more than in the Delian League one. Because I have a lot of funky ideas that I want to try out as the Peloponnesians sometime. Some more funky than others. So the Delian League is like weirdly centralized somehow. They are like in one line, one could say. And they, yeah. But the Peloponnesian League is actually split very much into, oh my god, I'm gonna sneeze, in Macedonia, then two northern dots, Pella and Potidaya, and the actual Greece holdings on the Peloponnesian Peninsula. So, I'm going to start with looking at the Delphi unit, which I think is a really funky unit because it's far in the front line and of course often combined with Corinthus to do funny things. So let's have a look. I think we should start with considering what forgot to rename the tiers. Okay, let's go. So let's start with with Delphi. I think Delphi has one very strong opening mainly two moves that are really solid. The first one being Delphi to Doris. Delphi to Doris creates a lot of safety, but also offensive flexibility. Being in Doris is pretty amazing, because you can either tap Pharsalus or go back to Naupactus, which is pretty awesome. If they bounce you, you can safely go to the Naupactus unless they also went to go for the Eubuea, which is not perfect, of course. So this move, I in general think, covers most openings, and in the case of the Eubuea Doris opening from the Delians, this move is pretty much necessary to survive. Yeah. The second move I think that's solid is Delphi to Naupactus. The only big weakness to this opening is the double attack that we just discussed. If it's just either Doris or Eubuea, you can just try to bounce Delhi if you want to. It's not perfect though. Like it's okay, not as safe in general, but might have like it does increase your chance of getting Naupactus, which is nice. So another move that I think is towards Nesh is going to Boeotia. What this opening does is basically that you want, together with Corinthus, take Athens year one, which is decent, but if anything comes in against Delhi, it's a very bad opening. So it's good against like a Tricolon double and Schalke's towards Mytilene opening. In that case, it could work out pretty well, but it's very specific, which is why I think it's niche. Next thing I want to discuss is Delhi to Corinthus. Delhi to Corinthus is something I wanted to try out, combined with Corinthus to Helic. So what does this do? Well, most of the times we're gonna see we're gonna see Athens to Corinthus. So if you want to do something else with Corinthus, you pretty much need to pull back Delhi to bounce that unit to make sure that it can't get into Gulf of Corinthus and such. That's just horrible for you. So Helic mainly wants to take Patras, and the idea is that afterwards you try to control Maulos Gulf ASAP after taking Patras with the unit. That way you can start comboing it over, or like help defend Olympia and such with it. So it's decent, but I think the two together form a niche strategy. This is best with Sparta to Saronic Gulf, I think, too. But we'll look more at that move later. Okay, more for Corinthus. Corinthus to Olympia is probably bad. I think the only option together with it is Olympia to Ionian Sea, which allows you to still cover Olympia from Mollusk for Mollusk Gulf while you take like a Coricora, but it's niche at best, and therefore Corinthus to Athena is just the best option in general. It's just reliable. It keeps Athens in check. Okay, let's take a look at Sparta. Sparta has two very solid moves, I think. Either to Sea of Crete, to Saronic Gulf, or to Sea of Crete. I think Sea of Crete is the stronger option in my mind. I personally think it's here, but a lot of people play Saronic Gulf. So Sea of Crete is good because you just get Kydonia. They can't stop you unless they play Athens to Saronic Gulf. Yeah, pretty much. So the reason why I don't like moving to Saronic Gulf is that it's quite bad. I don't know. Like it's a big risk, because most often you're gonna move Corinthus to Athens, and if they enter Saronic Gulf, they just bounce both your units and you get nothing out of them the first year. You could have gotten Kydonia or something. That would have been awesome, but now you don't. So yeah. But if they just open to Corinthus, you could of course still manage to snipe Athens, which can be pretty awesome. Which is why I can't really neglect that it is a strong option. Okay, so let's take a look at Olympia. Olympia is the Western Fleet of the Peloponnesian League, and I think it serves a very similar role as Aztecos in the opening. In general, Olympia to Mollusk Gulf is the best option. Although I think in general that Peloponnesian League wants to play a similar game of bouncing in spring, going to Gulf of Cappadocia or Ionian Sea in fall to make sure you can build in Olympia. But I feel like it's harder to afford a build in Olympia than it's to afford a build in Aztecos. So I think it's better to just keep on bouncing in Mollusk Gulf or the Peloponnesian League. But I do think that both Gulf of Cappadocia and Ionian Sea are decent. They both work, and I'm gonna place them as good alternatives. The reason why Gulf of Cappadocia actually has some play, I think, is that you can support yourself into Mollusk Gulf with it, which Ionian Sea cannot. Otherwise, Ionian Sea is just strictly better because it allows you to reach Coricora very fast. Okay, and that's all of Greece. Let's move on to Macedonia. So in Macedonia, we have Pella and Pochidaya. Pochidaya is one of the most interesting units here, I think, because it even moves Frasiancy, trying to take control of the agency, which is an uphill battle for sure. I think it's always worth to build more fleets in Pochidaya. Such a good build spot in general, because otherwise Delian League will crush you up there. But opening to Phreatic Gulf also gives you so much offensive pressure. I don't think any other move gives the offensive pressure that Pochidaya to Phreatic Gulf does, and they cannot stop it. In general, I think both of these could be like the best option. But I'm gonna place them both in strong because there can only be one best option. Both are similarly good, and yeah, I personally prefer Frisiancy to slowly stop Delian League's advance in the north. But I totally see playing in Phreatic Gulf as well, because it's really high tempo and disturbs a lot of their game, really. I think there is a lot of potential in playing Phreatic Gulf plus Epiros. That way you can still bounce the unit in Trichala in Pella, while Epiros can take Dodona or Kurikor, which is cool, because honestly the first one to arrive in the west often gets both centers, so it's really good to get there really quickly. So yeah, let's have a look at actual Pella moves though. In general, I think Pella to Trichala is the best option because Trichala is amazing. Although, if the Tricalan double becomes like existent in the tournament, which I hope it does, I think it absolutely goes down to just strong. It counters a lot of FSLE openings, but not all. So other than that, I'll leave it up here for now because in the current meta, this is the case for sure. So what else do we have here? I think, as said, the Epiros opening with Phreatic Gulf is really cool. Akantos is pretty niche due to you just kind of abandoning the main front for that unit. The move to Piera is like pretty fine, but it doesn't do anything that Trichala doesn't do, pretty much. The only thing that it does well is that you can like really target Larissa, but you risk losing Pella at the same time, so not a super big fan. So I'll personally base it in this. But there's a lot of potential, that there could be potential in it, I think so. So, I guess this is my very quick overview of opening moves for the Peloponnesian League. I think there's a lot of exploration to be done here. They're less so with more so than with the Delian League. The Delian League, I think, is more straightforward opening wise, but maybe not long term strategy wise. I'm not sure. There's a lot of good moves for Pelo, that's for sure, and I want to see people experiment with it more. That's for sure. All right, I think that's everything for now.